Second speaker is live now. Without wasting much of our time, it's our pleasure to invite Chinwani Precious to come and take us on this second route on the place of impact and personal development as a youth corper and doing our service here. You're welcome, ma.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much, Emeka, for having me. Good evening, everyone. My name is Precious Chiwani, and I hope you guys can hear me loud and clear. I've been following the trainings on the group. It's been amazing and wonderful. I want to say a big thank you to all the speakers who have spoken from the various days. And today we're going to be having an interesting time on the place of impact and personal development during your service here. So I'd like us to use the chat box. If you can hear me loud and clear, please use the chat box and tell me you can hear me so we can proceed. Hear me? So I'd like to ask a question. How many of us here are already serving, and how many of us here are intending core members? So I like to also read the chat box to see how many of us are already serving and how many of us are intending corpers. You'll be your unintending core member. Interesting, because oh wow, Agoha favor intending. Okay, that's beautiful, intending. So you guys are privileged to have the opportunity of gaining so much information. Jenny, Jacob, I can see you, Gift, Naji, Esther, everyone here. Okay, so this is amazing to know that all of you are preparing to go for service. So it becomes more beautiful because some of the information you're getting now from all the speakers, some of us didn't have access to it. So it's exciting to know that you have such opportunity, you have such privilege to learn from people who have already served. Okay, so a quick one. I like to say that I'm so fascinated about personal development, not just because you're going to serve as a corper. Personal development is something very important as an individual. It is very, very important as life is concerned. It's just like the way you take in air every day. That is the same way personal development is important if you must be a person of influence and impact. You can't talk about impact, you can't talk about the place of impact without talking about personal development. So it's very, very important that you understand what personal development is. It will give us a background knowledge into what we are looking at tonight. So who can help us share what they know about personal development? What is personal development to you? Someone help us in the chat box. What is personal development to you? I like the session to be very interactive. What is personal development to you? I like to break the key concepts before I share my journey. Basically, what I'll be doing tonight is to share my NYSC journey. You ask your questions and we're done. I like us to be very practical. I share my experiences. So, Izuma said simply means developing yourself financially, spiritually, and academically. Elvis said personal development is basically engaging oneself in activities that improves talent, potential, or even wealth. Ifani Obi says personal development is all about building yourself with relevant skills. Okay, personal development is a process of improving. All right, so these are amazing. Intentionally making efforts to improve and maximize ourselves. Interesting. Personal development, all of your definitions are correct about personal development. So basically, personal development is also known as self-improvement. Self-improvement. It's a process where you have to enhance your skills, your knowledge. You're brushing what you already know or the things you already have. You're brushing them up. It refers to the process of enhancing your skill, your knowledge, your talent, and overall quality of your life. So it's not just about skills. So let's not limit our mind that personal development is all about skills. No, it's beyond skills. It's beyond your talent. It's about the totality of your being as an individual. It's about improving the quality of your life as a person. It involves setting and working towards specific goals. Goals that extend through different aspects of your life, your physical life, your emotional life, your intellectual life, your social well-being. So personal development basically can take any form. It can be acquiring a new skill. it can be expanding your knowledge, it can be improving your relationship, it could be boosting your self-confidence, it could be setting goals, it could be a cultivating a positive mindset. So it's a lifelong journey. It's not something that happens in a day. Now I'm going to bring it down to NYSC. Now, a lot of persons or a lot of people say NYSC is a scam and all of that. I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh, I don't want to serve. It's a scam. It's a waste of 1 year." But then I beg to differ that there are people who have proven results that there is much more about NYSC. There's much more about NYSC. There's a lot you can achieve in 1 year of service. Are we together? It's much more you can achieve in 1 year of service as an individual. So I like to start with the fact that it's an individual thing. It's about your perception. It's about your interest. It's about how you set your mind on it. It's a personal race. I call it a personal race because every year millions of people, thousands of corpers go to camp, and they have lots of different experiences. They have lots of different experiences. Now I'm going to be sharing how I utilize my 1 year of service and built over 3,000 quality relationships with high profile individuals and all of that. So NYSC service here is the dream of an average Nigerian student. Oh, after school, what next? Oh, after school, the excitement of going to 3 weeks NYSC camp and then going to another land for 1 year to serve. That whole paparazzi excitement, So it's a year that every Nigerian student dreams of. It's a time of independence. It's just like you're free from the boring lectures, all of that. You're just free. You're just you. So, but then it's also 1 year that you have to yourself before life comes at you with full force. There's this thing about school. When you're in school, you think you have all the time, all the leverage. Your parents are still sending you money. Your uncles are still sending you money. You have people sending you things. And so the moment you're done with school, you go for service. They believe you've already started collecting your 33,000 naira alawi every month. So to an extent, you can man up yourself. But the actual life begins the moment you're done with service. And so I keep saying this to undergraduates, to students, in every environment I find myself, that the best season of your life as a young person is your 4 years, your 5 years, depending on your course. The period of your undergraduate days is your best season of life. What do I mean? That is when you have all the time to take all the courses, you have all the time to attend all the trainings, you have all the time to develop yourself because you're far away from home. Yes, I also know that there are courses that might limit you from doing a whole lot of things, but that's the place of balance. That's where the place of balance comes in. So if you missed out your 4 years as an undergraduate, if you missed out your season of undergraduate, the next season you have, the only second chance you have that life offers you to become better is your NYSC. So that 1 year is a determinant factor to what happens in the next phase of your life. If you did not take courses, if you did not learn skills, if you did not do anything while you were an undergraduate, the moment you become a core member, you have a lot of opportunities. You have a lot of opportunities. So NYSC service here is 1 year you have to yourself before life comes at you. So that 1 year could be a time for intense, I use the word intense, serious, intense personal and professional development. So it could be the 1 year you get to learn all the skills, all the competencies you were not opportune to be taught at home and when you were in school. So now it's a whole new world altogether. So now I'm going to be sharing how I leverage my NYSC service here. Now the first thing first here is that I embarked on this journey with a clear goal. The first thing is that I had a clear goal. I had a clear vision of what I wanted for my NYSC. So as I'm teaching us tonight, I believe our minds are beginning to open. And from what other guest has also said, I went to NYSC with a clear goal. What does this mean? As a young person, for any endeavor you want to get into, you must first gain clarity. I call it clarity of purpose. Why? Where's your why? The question of why. Why am I even going to serve? Is it just because, oh, it's a compulsory service here? What is your goal for service? So many of us do not know you are supposed to have goal for NYSC. So many of you don't know, oh, you think it's not just about waking up, you get your call up later and you just go to camp. No. You must plan yourself. What is the goal for this 1 year? What am I achieving for this 1 year? What am I doing for myself for this 1 year? So I embarked on this journey of my NYSC with a clear goal in mind. I had a clear vision. Oh, precious, this is what I'm going to do for the next 1 year of my life. I'm not going to touch my 33K alawi. I'm going to save it up here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. So I went into service with a clear intention, with a clear goal. So I throw back that question as you, as an intending core member, what is your goal? What are your plans? So first, I embarked on that journey with a clear goal to make the most unique service, to make the most unique year. And then through dedication and networking and a lot of things, I scaled through. Now, here is how I achieved. I passed out on the 12th of this month, and a lot of people were coming to my DM. Precious, how did you get all the certificates? Precious, how did you do this, do that, do all of that? I was just smiling. I couldn't even answer to most of the questions. So I created a platform for a waitlist, and I said, everybody join and let's share ideas. And so the same thing I taught them is what I'm going to be sharing right now. Here is how I achieved the feats I achieved during my service year. Number one is building quality relationships. Wherever I go, I say this: 2 currencies govern the world. 2 currencies. The world is controlled by 2 major currencies: money and relationship. Yes, we are all excited about money. We are all hustling to get money. We need money for this. We need money for that. But you see, money can take you far in life, but relationship will take you farther. Money has limitations, but relationship has no limits. So among these 2 currencies that rule the world, relationship is higher. That's what we call social capital. You may not have physical cash, but by the virtue of the people in your network, you can get anything you want in this life done. And that's why it's important to build quality relationships. So one of the things that helped me during my service year was building quality relationships with high-profile individuals. And if you must do, networking is essential. It is an essential skill that can open countless doors for you. During my NYSC year, I was so determined, like I was really determined to connect with high-profile individuals who could mentor me, provide valuable insights. And to achieve this, I attended a lot of trainings. I attend seminars, I attend conferences, and I gradually built a network of over 3,000 people. And this network did not only enrich my professional life, but it allowed me to interact with people from various walks of life and broaden my horizon. Now, this is it. One of the mistakes we make as young people when we attend events is we just go meet people randomly, you celebrate them. Oh, my name is this, that, and you exchange numbers. And then you take pictures, you go and upload on social media. After that day, that relationship is gone and is dead. That is not quality relationship. There's a difference between numbers and contacts. So I see a lot of young people, when we come to events like this, people are just taking pictures, they are exchanging numbers. 1 year later, you've not even remembered that such a person exists on your contact. That is not a relationship. Relationships are built intentionally. They are built intentionally. So when you enter an environment and you see someone you want to network with, even as the funny thing is, there's something about being a corper. You enjoy certain leverage. Everybody loves coppers. In fact, any environment you enter and you're a corper, people would want to do anything for you. People want to give you this extra advantage. So it gives you access. It even gives you more privilege to network with high profile individuals. Now, building relationship for me started in camp. I got to NYSC camp. That was on a Thursday morning. And the first thing I did, of course, the registration process and everything, got registered. I hope we can still hear me. Are we still together? All right, okay, I'll go ahead. Are we learning tonight? I want to believe what you guys are getting what I'm saying. Am I too fast? Are you guys getting what I'm saying? Mr. Emeka, am I too fast? Can you guys grab what I'm saying? Okay, okay. All right. All right, I'm saying okay. Okay, so basically when I got to camp, I'm sharing a story before I share the other things that helped me. Now, when I got to camp after my registration, like I said, I went there with a clear goal. I knew what I wanted to do and how I wanted it to become. So first, after my registrations, I went to the OBS stand, OBS studio. OBS is like orientation broadcasting service. I have interest in broadcasting, newscasting, writing, presenting. So I just went there straight and I registered. And then I came for the interview a few days later and I got in. I was among the people who were selected. We were just 3 ladies and some other guys that were selected. Now, okay, we got to camp on a Thursday, and the next day was Friday, and that was the day our state coordinator was supposed to give the official briefing for corpers. Of course, we just came to camp. She was meant to do her official briefing, welcome us officially, do announcement, tell us how to behave in camp, and all of those things. So, we're just seated that evening, and we're at the pavilion, and we're seated, and everyone was seated. So she walked in and started her speech. Of course, we were all gearing up, we were listening to her. And then I needed to get something from my hostel, so I was just working. And my OBS madam, the woman in charge of our OBS, she saw me passing by. She said, Precious, can you do a closing remark? That we need a core member who will do a closing remark after the official briefing of the state coordinator. And I'm like, okay, yes, I can do that. She said, okay, put it in writing, put your closing remark into writing and let me give to the PRO to preview. I wrote something, I gave to her, and they looked at it and they gave me back and told me to use the paper, to read from the paper. I told her no, these things came from my brain. There's no point using a paper to do a closing remark, because to her it was very long. To her, what I wrote was very long, so she felt like, oh, you need a paper to raise with. I thought that I didn't need that. So what I did was simple. Knowing that I was going to do a closing remark for the state coordinator, and as somebody who is very intentional about what I came to do in NYSC, I went extra to look for, I picked up the orientation guide and I started looking for the name of my state coordinator. I got her name, her full name, her state, where she's from. I got everything. And so when I was called upon to give the closing remark, I started with her name, her full name, and she was amazed how I got to know her full name. She was amazed. I started my remark, and while I was done, when I was still doing the remark when she stood up, she was clapping, she was all gary, she was screaming, she was excited. And then I saw the core members. Every core member started shouting, "Oh, this girl is good. Oh, she's people were just saying things, and I almost lost myself. But then I finished up the presentation and I left, and it was like, when you're set on a stage where the whole world is watching you and they're just excited about what you did. It was just a closing remark to me. It was nothing spectacular. But then it was that same closing remark that made me find favor before my state coordinator. Few days later, they wanted to do core camp director. If you've been to NYSC camp, you know that, of course, they used to have core camp director, the overall leading corper that takes care of all of that core members in camp. So few days later, they were doing the selection, and the selection is normally done from the platoon leaders. We have what we call platoon leaders. Each platoon, when you're given a platoon, each platoon does their election or by appointment. They have a platoon leader and assistant. So the overall core camp director normally comes from platoon leaders. It is a must criteria that you must be a platoon leader before you can even be selected as a core camp director. But I wasn't even a platoon leader because we already had a platoon leader. So I wasn't even a platoon leader. I was just in my hostel that evening, and I heard my name, Precious, somebody is looking for you, your OBS madam, and 2 army people. So when I saw the army guys, I was like, oh, I'm in trouble. I just came to camp, and already army people are looking for me. You could guess the fear in my face and all of that. I became very scared. I was like, what is going on? So my OBS madam said, no, don't worry, just calm down, follow me. And then I followed her. So when I got to the pavilion, I saw the state coordinator, I saw all the NYSC officials sitting, and I saw by my left every platoon leader and assistant. So I was the odd person in the crowd. Follow my story. I was the odd person in the crowd. I wasn't a platoon leader. I wasn't even any form of leader. I was just this OBS girl who gave the closing remark. And so when I came in, she said, please, all of you move back. Let her come on stage. And then I came, she said, please, you guys ask. She told all the NYSC officials, please ask her questions. And they said they had no questions for me. They feel like the girl is sound. I was like, how? How on earth are you people agreeing? But then the camp commander said he had a preference. He had a girl he wanted to be the core camp director. So he refused to accept the fact that everybody was okay by me. And he started throwing questions at me. He was asking the questions, and I didn't know where the courage came from, but I was answering each of the questions and all of that. I kept answering the questions. And by the time I was done, my state coordinator said I should go. I left the pavilion. I was just in the OBS studio that morning after the morning news, and I was taking a nap. And then my OBS madam was like, Precious, please don't accept that position. And I was like, which position, ma? That they already want to make me core camp director. I was like, how? I don't qualify for this. I'm not even a platoon leader. Funny as it was, the next morning during the morning prayers, I was still at the OBS studio preparing for the morning news when I was called. I was running to the pavilion. I was running. When I got to the stage, everyone was screaming and screaming. I didn't understand what was going on. And lo and behold, it dawned on me that they already announced me as the core camp director. And that was where it started for me. That was where impact and influence during my service year started. That was how it started for me. They announced me as assistant, an Hausa guy, and the other one, an Igbo guy. And that was where my journey of impact and influence started. I laid this background story to show you that it was intentionality that got me to that point. It was intentionality. So if you're going for your NYSC, you must become intentional. So as a core camp director leading over 1,680 something core members, that's a lot already for me. And that was where I started building quality contact. I started meeting people. There were core members who were not just core members. These guys have influence. They have connections. I started meeting people. So that's that about building quality contact. The second thing is core members miss just because they think they are serving. You think you're serving in one school, maybe you're teaching, maybe you're serving somewhere, and you feel reluctant about taking opportunities. As a core member, search for opportunities. You have your gadgets. Look for scholarships. Go online. Yali platform. Yali platform is there. The Mandela Washington Fellowship Program. You can apply. It was still during my service year that I applied for Yali Ghana, and I was selected for the yearly West Africa Ghana program, and I got on board. Out of how many thousand um, um, applicants, I got selected. And not just that, I got a lot of grants. So I started looking out for scholarship opportunities beyond my service. I was opportune to, okay, now one of the advantages I got as a core camp director was they gave me the privilege of choosing where I wanted to serve, and I chose the Ministry of Youth and Sports. And so when I got to the ministry, I knew I wanted to do extra. So I got online. You see, the internet has made it so easy that opportunities are on your doorstep. So I got online, started looking out for opportunities, courses I could take, scholarship programs, grant opportunities. And so I saw a lot of opportunities. I saw a lot of opportunities. So it was possible to gain financial support from organizations, international organizations. I actively researched for scholarship opportunities. I tailored my application, submitted them diligently, and I started receiving multiple awards, multiple recommendations. So as a core member, do not rely on, oh, I'm just a teacher in one school, in one village. No. Look out for opportunities online. There are a lot of links I would also share with us after now. Look out for opportunities online. Look out for grants. Look out. Now, the next one I'm going to talk about is the sweet sound of daily bank alerts. Who don't like money? I love money. I like money. Everybody likes money. Trust me, your 33K as a core member will not be enough for you. By the time, okay, let's say you are posted to a location that you don't have an accommodation. You don't have an accommodation. You're going to pay house rent. For me personally, I wasn't given an accommodation at my PPA, so I had to pay a house rent of 220,000. So imagine if I had no extra source of income or had nothing doing, how would I pay for that rent? So now, as a core member, relying on your 33K is the most funniest thing you will ever do for yourself. Like, it's the most stupid thing to do. Because at the end of the day, 33K in Nigeria now, you know how much a dollar is right now. So you should know that 3K means absolutely nothing for you. By the time you eat in a day, how many times you eat in a day, the money you spend, if you go to the market now, the prices are changing. It becomes very important for you to look out for extra source of income. Extra source of income. For me, I was serving, apart from my 33, I didn't even touch my 33K salary till I finished. I didn't touch it. It was just there in that account. So I just moved it to, I looked out for investment opportunities where, oh, I could fix this money for, and I took everything out when I finished my NYSC and moved it there so it could yield increase for me. So you can be a corper and still not touch it at 3K salary. It is possible. Why? Because you have other sources of income. Financial stability during your NYSC. During NYSC is usually a challenge for so many. However, I was determined to create it for myself. Through various investments, freelancing opportunities. See, freelancing is very important. Freelancing is very, very important. I was doing my work at the ministry. I was doing a work for a Canadian brand that was paying me almost 200,000 naira a month. I was still doing a job for another foundation that was paying 70K. I was doing another job. So in a month, apart from my 3K, I had extra sources of income. So having an extra source of income as a corper do not only provide you comfort, it allows you to save and invest so that by the time you're done with service, you're not asking the question of why. Just like a lot of people finished from school, they graduated from school, and they're asking what next. So by the time you're done with NYSC, you shouldn't be asking what next. Your life should be fixed. You should have a plan for yourself. For some of us, you should not even go back to your parents and start disturbing them for money. It will be an embarrassment for you to go back to your parents after NYSC and start disturbing them for money and start eating their food and saying, mommy, thank you, and daddy, thank you. So look out for extra source of income. It was one of the best things. Sweet sound of daily bank alerts. while you're sleeping, your money is working for you. At the end of the month, when alawi is coming, you're not moved by the alawi. You have extra sources of income. Another thing is accessing global opportunities. The world is a vast playground, and my service here served as a launch pad to access global opportunities. Like, honestly, with the connections I built, the scholarships I received, I explored a lot of opportunities. From internships, I participated in a lot of internship programs. The ones that were online, the ones that were physical, and some of them were also paying. I had opportunity of volunteering. I'm going to say this. There's a skill called service. When you learn the act of service, you serve people, you volunteer, your life cannot be the same. You cannot be on the same space. If you go to my timeline and look at my pinned posts, and you're seeing I had over 40 professional certificates before the end of my NYSC. The certificates on that picture, all of them could not even enter. I did not even put the awards. Those are only certificates, not even awards. It's a lot. So you have to broaden your horizon. Go online. You see, make use of the internet. Every day as I wake up in the morning, I'm asking Google questions. You know, we have ChatGPT, we have Google, we have opportunities. All you need is to type what you're looking for online, and they will pop up over 100 opportunities, and you apply. Apply and apply and apply. You don't know the one that will click. You don't know the one that will click for you. So apply to as many as possible. Now, in conclusion, I have this to say. My NYSC service here was indeed a great time of, personal growth. It was a golden opportunity to shape my future. I finished my NYSC, and I'm not asking a question of what next, and I'm not stranded financially. I am not a confused individual. I am not a confused person. So I hope my story inspires each and every one of us here tonight that have listened to me. And I'll end this by saying, you too can do so extremely well in your service here. So I'd like to take your questions now. Okay, I'm seeing Jenny Jacob saying, how can I get to access the jobs you did that bring extra money? Okay, so Jenny Jacob, I talked about, if you heard me when I was talking, I talked about freelancing. If you know what freelancing is, it's you can get a freelancing job. Take, for instance, I was working for a Canadian brand online. All I do for the Canadian brand is create content, and they pay me for the content. That's a separate job. I got another job to do presentation. Okay, so now what I do for them is 3 times a week I come live on the social media platforms. I present for them. I do presenting job. They get me their clients. I ask them questions. I do the interviews for them, and at the end of the month they pay me. So you can use LinkedIn. There are a lot of freelancing jobs on LinkedIn. You can use Upwork. There are a lot of sites where you can access these freelancing job opportunities. So that's that, Jenny Jacob. Okay, you can start dropping in your questions. I'll be reading the chats. All right, okay, Peace is saying, please can you mention the high demanding skills one can easily monetize? Okay, so I'm going to start from content creation, for instance. Content creation is a very high paying skill. Now, I work for the Canadian brand. They don't know me in person. They just went through my profile. I'm going to say this, upgrade your every one of us here, go and revamp your social media accounts. Some of you are posting things that when people who want to give you jobs go on your timeline, they look at it and they get discouraged. People are no longer interested only in a written CV. Your social media is your CV. Your social media is your CV. For people to give you job, they just go online and check what you do on your timeline. And once they are seeing irrelevant posts, controversial posts, you are done. They won't give you that opportunity. So revamp your social media accounts, activate, if you're not on LinkedIn, activate your LinkedIn account and become serious on LinkedIn. Now, skills such as content creation, copywriting, video editing, graphic designing, website designing, animation. There are a lot of skills. Photography. There are a lot of skills you can actually learn during your service year. For me, I learned a lot of skills. I learned video editing. My video editing skills have improved so much. I learned UI UX design, of which I'm still on. So there are a lot of skills. There are over 40 skills you can learn that will give you extra income in your service year. I wrote a book. I compiled everything about my NYSC journey. I compiled everything about my NYSC journey, how I assess scholarships, the links to the scholarships, the skills you can learn, how you can make money. I compiled everything in a book. So for the purpose of this meeting, that book is 5,000 naira, but I'm just going to do it for 3K to everyone who sends. If you need the copy, all you need to do is send Chukwemeka, our host, a message, and you're going to get that copy of the book for 3,000 naira only. That discount is for everyone here. So everything is in the book, the links, the scholarship, my journey, questions, impact projects you can do. And a lot of us here don't know that there's also opportunity from federal government for corpers. If you stand out as a core member, you can win the 2 million naira cash prize from federal government and a scholarship for your masters abroad. So I also outlined how you can do that in the book. So you can send Mr. Chukwemeka a message to get your copy. Okay, somebody said, when you were asked to choose your PPA, did you already have it in mind to be in the ministry, and what influenced that decision? Okay, Jenny Jacob, yes. I'm into leadership and youth development and empowerment. So when I was asked to choose where I was going to serve, of course they don't give that leverage to people in camp. Federal government, the federal government just posts you to wherever they feel like within the state government. So, but then as a core camp director, I had that opportunity. I was asked where I wanted, and I just said the Ministry of Youth and Sports. And what influenced that decision was the fact that I'm interested in youth empowerment and development. So that's that. Okay, Mr. Chukwemeka said, how do you maintain new relationship and network without losing the old one? Very interesting question, because there's this popular saying that every 6 months, your favorite contact or your frequent calls changes. Now, this is how I do it. Because every day I meet new people and each of these people are valuable in one way or the other to me, what I do is to keep constant communication. Just like in a relationship, communication is the key. Without communication, there's no relationship. Without communication, there's no relationship. So first thing first is to keep communication. Once in a while, checking on those people, have conversations about around what they do that you're interested in. That way you build up conversations and it gets to a level when you are never forgotten by those people. When you're constantly showing up for someone, hello, greetings, sir, how are you doing today? How is work today? I'd like to have this conversation with you. When you're constantly making commitments and conversations, and there are people, and I have to say this to us, high profile individuals you're looking forward to connect with, they are not hard to get. There are people we look at and we say, oh, I can't access this person. It's a lie. Some of these big influential people are also looking to connect with you. But the only reason they are not giving you that privilege of access is because you've not qualified to be in their space. You've not qualified to enter their space. You've not qualified to get into their circle. These people protect their circle with their life. And the only way to break into their circle is to become a person of value, that you have something to bring on their table. You cannot dine with kings when you have nothing to offer, when you have no negotiation power. So when a high-profile individual is added to your network, the first question that should come to your mind on how to build that relationship is, what can I do for this person? What solution, what problem is this person facing that I can prefer solution to? It could be as little as graphic designing for all their works. Before you know it, they have picked interest in you. So these high profile individuals are looking for problem solvers. So your ability to solve problem when you get into their space gives you access. So I think I've answered that question. Thank you. Okay, so any further question? I think I'm done. It was great being here tonight. Thank you, Mr. Chukwemeka, for having me. It's been an awesome time. And I hope we all got something. Please drop your comments about the session. I hope you gained value. If you have further questions, please. I have a few more minutes to be here and I'm out. Thank you. Okay, so I love the question Gloria Chiwendo asked. Now, you're not allowed as a core member to work somewhere else. Why 7? It's a law in NYSC. You're not allowed to work somewhere else. But then there's a way to navigate that. And like I said, freelancing, there are remote jobs. There are works I call remote jobs. A lot of us, we know what remote jobs are. You don't need to be in a physical office. You need to just do the job online. So majority of the works I was doing Y7 were online remote jobs. Remote jobs. I mentioned freelancing. I go to my PPA in the morning and while I'm in my PPA in my office, I'm creating content for the brand I work for. And my money is entering my account. Yet I'm still working at my PPA. Okay. Now, apart from creating those contents, the people I do presenting for, I had another job for presenting. I stay in my office most times in my PPA and I'm doing the presenting for them. So you mustn't necessarily have another job. If you must have another job, then it must be on the days because now as a core member, you have 3 days. If you're teaching in a school, your school might give you 2 times a week or 3 times a week to be coming. So the extra days you're free, you could work on those days. Do you get? So that's the way you can actually handle that. Then another way to handle it too is if you have a job you're doing while you're serving, you could also have that conversation. You could also have that conversation with your boss, and they can give you privilege of also working while serving. Thank you. Yes, of course, you are allowed to learn. NYC has what they call Said. Said is the entrepreneurship part of NYC where you get to learn any skill of your choice. But then even if you don't want to join the Said program, you can learn anything physically. Nobody is stopping you. You have your free days as a corper. I was taking my video editing course. I was learning my UI designing. Nobody was stopping me. I was going to my classes physically, and nobody was, stopping me. Okay, yes. Someone said, as an education student, you must teach in a school. Yes. You can teach in a school, and sometimes they may not put you in a school. Sometimes they may put you at the Ministry of Education, maybe at the WAEC office or other ministry. They mustn't necessarily put you at a school. It's not a must. Yes, Izumwa praise. Yes, you can run your business while serving. You can run your business while serving. Nothing is stopping you from running your business. I had people who were into cosmetics, they were still selling their products. I had people who were into barbing, they were still doing their. I had people who were into selling of clothes, they were still doing their business. It doesn't stop you. The only thing is for you to find a balance and have that conversation with your boss at your PPA. So nothing stops you from running your business while serving. Gloria, you want to serve in Lagos. Beautiful. Wherever state you find yourself as a copper, make the best use of it. Our advice, get that copy of the book, Maximizing Your Service Here. I poured out my heart in that book so much that you cannot afford not to get a copy of it. Okay, so I think my time here is up already. Okay, someone said, please, can I drop my LinkedIn name? Didn't get it. All right. I'll send the links to my social media platforms. You can follow me there. And also feel free to send a DM on WhatsApp if you have personal questions you want to ask. I'm open to questions. So you might slide into my DM. Feel free to ask your questions. So this at this point, thank you so much, Mr. Chukwemeka, for having me share my thoughts. It's been an awesome time here with each and every one of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma. Thank you so much, ma, for your time and for pouring out your heart to all of us here. And we promise we'll make you proud, especially every intending core member on this call. And with that note, we just want to appreciate you for your time and your effort. And every details of the book will be sent to the group chat on the WhatsApp group and also here on Telegram, and also the social media handles of our speaker will also be dropped on our group chat, including her number for those who want to ask more questions or gain clarity on something she spoke about. Thank you so much, ma.